What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blur Without Fear. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, today's video, we're going to be talking about X-Force number 32 by Benjamin Percy and Robert Gill, as well as Wolverine number 24 and 25, also by Benjamin Percy, with art by Federico Vicentini. And in this, I'm going to be breaking down why Kraven the Hunter believes mutants aren't as strong as they're advertised, and why he's wrong. We're also going to be breaking down the Celestial's judgment of Wolverine and what comes next for his latest nemesis, the Hellbride and Solem.
You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
Okay, so when we pick this issue up, Kraven is full on into his assault on Krakoa, and this is something we talked about in the previous issue, why he wants to go after Krakoa, because he feels like this is going to be the greatest challenge of his life. Not only that, but being a clone, which for those who don't know, yes, this is not the original Kraven the Hunter. I'm not going to go into it here. I did a video about this previously for X-Force number 31. Go check that out if you want to know why this isn't the original Kraven the Hunter. But all of that aside, this version of Kraven, he's a clone, and he feels like the mutants have become soft, being that the secret of mutant resurrection is out, and he has been walking around and seeing everything that's going on Krakoa. He's been hunting animals on Krakoa, and now he's hunting mutants on Krakoa. He seemingly has at least some kind of an idea that the mutants, when they resurrect themselves, they very likely aren't that different from himself. At least that's what he wants to believe, and he's using this as his doctrine going into his hunt against mutants. And over the course of this, he actually muses something that we've heard Wolverine say on multiple occasions since House of X, that living on Krakoa has made mutants soft because now they have a safe space and they don't have to leave it if they don't want to. They have no natural predators on Krakoa. Even though technically there are animals like other fauna on the island, none of them are really predators to the mutants. They don't really pose a threat to the mutants on any major level. And Wolverine feels this is why they have gotten soft, why Wolverine himself has gotten soft, and he's been trying to keep his edge. Because he feels like living there, while it has uplifted mutant kind, it has also handicapped them. All in all, Kraven's musing that the mutants are soft and aren't worthy of his hunt, that, they're supposed to be the strongest. How are they the strongest if he's able to so easily take them down? And we do see across the course of this issue that he handily takes down one of my favorite mutants, Maggot, kills him pretty much unceremoniously, and I'm feeling some type of way about that. I'm not gonna lie to you. And he takes out various and sundry other mutants we see throughout the course of this. Now, I don't know whether he's killing the children that we see depicted, because that part is never really shown, but we do see him pull up on various groups of mutants, and when he does, he kills each and every one of them, the ones that we can see for that matter. Even at another point where I believe this is actually the character Icarus who Kraven takes down, and he kills him, and this is kind of what leads us into more of the Wolverine shenanigans, is that Kraven wants the best possible hunt, and Icarus tells him that the best mutant on the island is Wolverine, and this is all just before Kraven kills him. And once again, Kraven now believes that Wolverine, the same guy who has literally been saying the same thing he has been saying about the mutants of Krakoa, that they've gone soft living on that island, this is who he wants to face off with. Now, he does muse about the fact that maybe the reason why he's not seeing the strongest mutants is because they're too busy fighting the Eternals and trying to save the world right now, which says a lot about Kraven, that the world is literally burning around him. And rather than try and help out in any way he can, he'd rather just try and hunt the people who are actually trying to save the damn world. But regardless of all that, the people who are on the island aren't the fighters of the mutants. So yeah, while Kraven is tooting his own horn about how he's the best hunter in the world, he's basically shooting fish in a barrel at this point. He's not going after the heavy hitters. We even see at a point that he does take notice of Storm, but he don't want that smoke. But no, the idea here is that, yeah, he's going to try and put Wolverine in a situation thanks to Beast. He's taken Beast hostage and taken him to the Shadow Room, had him activated, lured Wolverine to it, and now he wants to fight Wolverine in a place that's not that dissimilar from the Danger Room that Wolverine used to throw down in on the weekly. And I don't think that's actually going to work out for Kraven the way that he thinks. The other thing I want to talk about, though, with this is Wolverine number 24 and 25, which I didn't really do videos for initially because I didn't really know where to go with it. But what I do want to talk about is the outcome of those two issues, which are technically Judgment Day tie-ins, same as X-Force number 32, but only in the loosest of terms. But in Wolverine number 25, he was judged by the progenitor, and he was judged favorably. And this was something we've actually talked about in a previous video for a.x.e X-Men #1 when we were talking about Jean Grey and Wolverine telling her that he was judged favorably. So he doesn't understand why the progenitor is judging her as unfavorable. And we technically kind of see in Wolverine #25 the reasons why, but once again, I will definitely preface everything I'm going to say here with, I still disagree with the progenitor's assessment of Jean Grey, especially when you consider what he's looking at with Wolverine and what he's looking at with Jean. Yes, Jean destroyed an entire planet full of people. However, she has saved more people than she has actually killed. And while Wolverine has definitely been a hero for a lot of his Marvel Comics publication history, he did do some bad things in the past, but I feel like he is more than made up for them. Yes, he's killed tons of people. Yes, he has even killed his friends, not of his own volition. And I think the thing that the progenitor took into account with Wolverine, he didn't take into account with Jean Grey. Jean Grey was under the power of the Dark Phoenix. It had a lot of influence over her. She wasn't 100% in her right mind. And Wolverine, for a lot of his early years, he was a tool of Weapon X. He had no autonomy, no authority over himself. And even with that being the case, the progenitor still judged him favorably. And I think some of the things that happen in this issue are kind of meant to give you an idea of why that's the case. The fact that the Hell Bride, the woman whose husband Wolverine and Solem killed in X-Force #13 during the Ten of Swords event, she's come back for revenge, even though the Beast, the god of the hand, didn't want her to. She escaped from hell and has been trying to hunt both Wolverine and Solem down to get revenge for her fallen husband. And while I feel like we never actually see the judgment of the Hell Bride and Solem, we do see Wolverine's, and during the course of that time, Wolverine, when he finds the Hell Bride after they've been slugging through the snow and ice and all this other stuff, trying to get to the progenitor because all three of them want to kill it, and the Hell Bride wants to kill Wolverine and Solem as well. They find the Hell Bride face down in the snow and seemingly dying, but Wolverine actually stops Solem from executing her right then and there when she's helpless, and even offers her his own coat while they are freezing cold out there. Now, granted, Wolverine has a healing factor. I'm pretty sure he still feels discomfort from the cold, but he wouldn't necessarily die from being stuck out in the cold. He'd probably just freeze to death and then somehow still be alive after the fact. But the point of the matter is, he gives her his coat, and that is also yet another thing that separates him from Solem. Now, once again, we don't see the judgments of the Hell Bride and Solem in this, but what we do see is that once everything is all resolved and the Hell Bride and Solem and Wolverine come together to fight this ice golem that the progenitor has sent after them, Solem leaves with the Hell Bride as she journeys back to hell. And he implies that he wants to try something new, that he wants to see how the people are living down in hell. And I feel like what's going to wind up happening here is because, once again, you got to remember, the Hell Bride is supposed to be one of the leaders of the Hand. She's supposed to be one of the figureheads of that organization. And I wonder if Solem is going to become her Hell Groom? It's hard to say at this point, but considering everything that's been going on with Punisher and Daredevil, right now with Daredevil having become the Beast of the Fist and Punisher operating as the Fist of the Beast, it is very interesting to me how this could potentially play out for both of those comics, considering that Punisher and Daredevil have just recently reunited, and Daredevil having discovered what Punisher has been up to lately. So we could very easily end up seeing both the Hell Bride and Solem pop up at some point in both of their comics very soon, especially considering everything going on with the Punisher as of late, now that he is technically leading the Hand. But yeah, when you get down to it, I thought this was a pretty cool comic. I didn't touch on these at first, just mostly because I've been really busy with all the other Judgment Day stuff. Judgment Day has been a lot bigger than I initially gave it credit for. It's made me really reconsider how I do like big crossover event stuff. I think I might just start doing one big video for them and just leave it at that and not try and do individual ones. But that said, these are nice tie-ins. I think X-Force #32 is less a tie-in than Wolverine 24 and 25 are. Wolverine #24 and 25 have a lot more to do with Judgment Day than X-Force #32 does. Judgment Day is just something that's going on in the background while X-Force #32 is happening. If you get to the back of the book, there might be some who are curious as to what's up with that story that's at the end. It's mostly just, in my eyes, a celebration of Wolverine, and that being the 25th issue of Benjamin Percy's run, I think a lot of this also has to do with the Wolverine Lost Trail podcast. If you haven't been checking it out, it's on Spotify, and it's a really awesome podcast. There's a lot of callbacks in there, one of which being the character Flamingo, a former private security contractor who Wolverine met during that podcast, and oddly enough is voiced by Terrence Clow, who, if you're not familiar with that name, they played Saracen very recently, the vampire that was on She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Now, if you're wondering why is all this in here, it's also because Benjamin Percy not only writes the Wolverine comic, he also writes that podcast. So there you have it, if you're wondering what all this is connected to, but it could very well mean we might end up seeing Flamingo very soon in upcoming Wolverine issues, which I think is pretty cool. I think Flamingo is a very interesting character because we don't really get very many drag queens of prominence in the Marvel Comics universe. I think I read somewhere that Flamingo is actually only the second drag queen character that's not just like a background character in Marvel Comics history. So who knows? Maybe we'll see more of them. If you want to know more about some of the other shenanigans going on with Judgment Day, check out this playlist up here. And if you want to know more about what's up with Wolverine and what all he's been going through since House of X, check out this playlist down here. In the meantime, let me know what you thought about Wolverine number 24 and 25 and X-Force number 32. Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.